If you're a maintenance supervisor for a commercial property, you've had to deal with everything from leaky faucets to flickering light bulbs. But nothing's worse than that ancient boiler that's lived in the building since the day it was built, 50 years ago. It's enough to make anyone lose their cool. That's where Grainger comes in. With industrial-grade products and dependable fast delivery, Grainger can help with any challenge, from worn-out components to everyday necessities. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh, sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to report.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover's here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then if you want to watch a broadcast, it's easy. Just go to Reaver.one. That's REAVER.ONE. And just click on the SHR TV button. Oh. Well, back to school day for my daughter. Today's first day of 7th grade. God, where did the years go by? It's scary how fast time starts to speed up. And the time as well. Time speeds up as you get older. Either that or I'm at a time warp because everything goes so fast nowadays. You know? It just seems like yesterday. Yesterday. Far away. Yeah. Well, enough of the yammering. I'm not going to get into too much tonight. Hold on. Dang it. Kevin Hart rejects anti-Trump political grandstanding, says his job is to make people laugh. Comedian superstar Kevin Hart is opening up about why he does not see the value of trashing President Donald Trump. Quote, the way that I see it, my job as a comedian is to spread positivity, to make people laugh. The highest grossing comedian on the planet said in an interview with the Daily Beast. And I don't want to draw attention to what's already pissing us as a people off. It's a sentiment that What Now Stars first explained earlier this month in an interview with Variety, in which he said he avoided political charged comedy keeps him from alienating a portion of his audience. When you jump into the political realm, you're alienating some of your audience, Hart said in May, which is very... He has a right to his opinion. If he wanted to voice it, he has a right. But then we have a right not to watch his material. When you need people to back you, such as celebrities, I don't think it is in their best interest to run around spewing their politics, whether it's right or left. I would try to be calm about it in today's atmosphere. Be quiet about it. You know, a lot of the conservatives don't go out there speaking on it. Because they know they'll get blackballed. Liberals are going out there shooting their mouth off and pissing off more than half their base. Well, that's just going to hurt their bottom line. In this April, Kevin Hart and his wife attended a special screening of Kevin Hart, What Now, at the AMC Lowe's Lincoln Square On Wednesday, October 12th, oh, that's from a picture. Shit. Shows you how good the start is today. Now, the comedy mogul says he would rather be a bright spot for people instead of a political lightning rod. I want to take your mind off of whatever may be going on in your life that could be wrong and give you a reason to say, you know what? It's going to be okay. That's being the positive, motivating, inspiring person that I am, that I always will be, Hart said. Everybody's not going to see things the way I want them or want to see them, and they shouldn't, the Heartbeat production boss says. That's what makes us individuals. In that particular realm, I keep my opinions to myself. And like I said, if I don't have anything nice to say, I shouldn't say it at all. I'm not in the business of trashing people. Hart is the king of stand-up comedy, recently dethroning comic legend Jerry Seinfeld to become Forbes' highest-paid comedian with a 2016 haul of $87.5 million. Hart's film, including 2016 Central Intelligence and Ride-Along franchise, have grossed nearly $1.5 billion domestically. The 37-year-old actor reportedly commands $10 million per film. The A-lister, what the heck's going on over here? The heck? Is it not broadcasting? All right, that's doing that. Oh, things just always got to give me problems first thing when we start up. Always. There we go. All right, it is going. All right, good. I as everybody usually knows, I have the tablet over here, and for the first part of the show, I have the YouTube channel, the live stream, up and running over here, and it was stuck on the, I think, SHR screen. So I was like, what the flim flam flappity flip? Oh. Back to what we're talking about. Now that I got sidetracked like a little kid with keys being shown to him. The A-Lister's next venue is Laugh Out Loud, a new 24/7 comedy streaming content service Hart has launched in partnership with Lionsgate Entertainment. He is not an individual. He is an organization. He is a force of nature.
If you're a maintenance supervisor for a commercial property, you've had to deal with everything from leaky faucets to flickering light bulbs. But nothing's worse than that ancient boiler that's lived in the building since the day it was built, 50 years ago. It's enough to make anyone lose their cool. That's where Grainger comes in. With industrial-grade products and dependable fast delivery, Grainger can help with any challenge, from worn-out components to everyday necessities. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Lionsgate CEO said of Hart. With a slew of successful theater-release stand-up specials under his belt and a bevy of blockbuster films slated for release, including a Jumanji remake debut in December and a great outdoor remake in the works, Hart wants to give back and wants Laugh Out Loud to be an artist-friendly destination for new and hungry comedic talent. It's good to see someone actually doing something positive, trying to help others. And like I said, I like that he keeps it to himself. In the profession that he is in, he feels it's smart to keep it to himself. Now, and what I'm doing, it is, well, I give my opinions on the show. That's what I do. When I was EMS Fire for all those years, I kept my opinions to myself. You didn't want to be broadcasting, especially your political opinions. Because, number one, you might be pissing off the board that you answer to and funds your organization, so you have to keep quiet on that. You got to play a political game. You might upset a patient by them knowing you have the opposite political opinion. So it's In some careers, you have to keep your opinions to yourself where it's smart. And it seems some of these celebrities just don't do it. You want to say, yes, I'm a liberal. I support Hillary Clinton. Rah, rah, rah. Vote her in. Trump, I don't like him. Don't like what he stands for. Rah, rah, rah. Vote Hillary. Fine. I wouldn't complain about anybody doing that. It's when they start in with all the rhetoric and all the propaganda, and now they keep going after they lost. They're still whining and crying, and they're getting worse with their rhetoric. And they're getting where they're promoting violence. You know, that's where I say, you know what, I've had enough. Someone came out and said, I'm a Democrat. I support Democrat as an actor or singer. That's okay, congratulations, that's your right. But it's that extracurricular bullshit that happens on the side that has me going, you know what, I'm done with it. I'm not going to watch their programs. I'm not going to support them. I don't care what your political aspect is. I'll still watch your movies. Now, I think I speak, that's what I'm doing on the show. I'm trying to speak from an everyday person, some college, blue-collar working, busting their ass trying to make bills. And that's all I'm trying to do is give my point of view on what I see in the world from talking to, middle-class to lower-class neighborhood type people. And give that point of view to everybody. It's not always going to be the top-notch political aspects that you might get from Fox, CNN, MSNBC, all these quote-unquote expert political pundits. I have been very close on what's been going on in America. I've been spot on with the politics of the election so far, and I got lucky on that. It is what it is, but I'm here to talk about my opinions and try to put out this, what the common man is thinking and talking about. And to give what I see going on a common man voice, not, try to talk above you. Not to say it's bad when people use a dictionary to do the broadcast. Not saying that. Mine is a down-to-earth, everyday broadcast. And this Kevin Hart, it's his job to entertain, and he needs the people behind him to do that job. And if he's going to, alienate half his base, that's a lot of people. Just going by who voted for Trump. You piss them off and you don't get them going to see your movies or television shows or buying your records. There's 62 million people right off the bat. Then there's people who support Trump that may not have gone out and voted or originally voted for Hillary and now have crossed the line. Yes, there is those. So you're pissing off a large amount, a high amount of people in this country. What is it? We'll even go, 62 million. Hang on. So, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, there's 62 million times. We'll go $15 a ticket. There's $930 million out the window. $930 million out the window for your movie. That right there, well, would make a blockbuster right there. So he's very smart, and he sounds like he's got a great business head on his shoulders, and I wish him well. There's a lot of comedians I wish well. It's the best form of healing is laughter. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If people could learn to laugh at themselves, things would be a lot better off in this world. We'd be doing a hell of a lot better if people just would learn to laugh at themselves once in a while. I'm a fat, balding, middle-aged guy that stumbles on his own words and goofs things up all the time. Go ahead, take your shots at me. I don't care. Oh, I'm white. Take your shots at me. If it's funny, I'll laugh. If not, I'll just give you the bird and go on. So I'm laughing, and I touched on it last night's broadcast. Democrats threaten government shutdown to block the border wall. When do we go from compromising and trying to work deals to just, we're just going to not vote. We're going to block this because we don't like that. And the Republicans could have tried this too. So this goes both ways. They could have gone to the table. They could still go to the table, say, and here I am just giving examples. I'm not supporting these things, just an example. Okay, you want the border wall? That'll secure the border. Well, you got to give up trying to shut down Obamacare, but we'll also then work with you on fixing the problems that are going on. There's a start of a compromise. There's a start of a conversation. Well, you want the border wall. We want background checks expanded. There's the beginning of a conversation. Again, I'm not supporting these things. It's a beginning of a conversation for compromise to come together. Well, we'll vote to repeal Obamacare and give you that, but you're going to give up the border wall because we don't think that should really be put up. Beginning of a conversation right there. It's that easy. But the Democrats want to go this route, go right ahead. It's not like what the Republicans were doing last time. This is just they're being assholes and trying to delay and block Trump's campaign promises. That's all this is about. So what are they going to do? They're just going to make sure that it gets shot down. The only problem is there are several Democrats in Trump-won states, and I'm talking states Trump won big time. They are vulnerable, very vulnerable, and up for election in 2018. And if they shoot it down, that gives a lot of power to the Republicans and ads to be running their states when they're trying to get reelected. And there's multiple. Now think, it's only, 8 seats they got to flip to get to 60? 8 seats? That's not a lot. And that's not hard. And there's something like 12 senators that are vulnerable on the Democrat side. And there's a couple on the Republican. It could turn out very bad for the Democrats playing this game. But in response to Trump's deputies are offering political compromise to Democrats, including a raise in domestic spending. So even the Republicans are saying, you know what, we'll give you a raise in domestic spending. They're trying to go to the Democrats, and they're trying to compromise. They're trying to say, work with us here. And the White House is pushing a deal on Capitol Hill to head off a government shutdown that would lift strict spending caps long opposed by Democrats in exchange for money for President Trump's border wall with Mexico, multiple sources say. Mark Short, the White House Director of Legislative Affairs, met with top staffers from both parties on the Senate Appropriate Committee last week to make a hard sell for the proposal, source says. Short, who said the border funding would be used for a double fence, stressed. Now this is... Short saying that there'll be a double fence in certain areas and stressed that the White House insisting on a down payment for construction this fall. Short also lobbied with big budget increase for the Pentagon, another priority for Trump. If Democrats block the spending bill, many government agencies will have to send their employees home. But national security agencies and various aid programs such as Social Security program will keep operating. Trump's pending request for an October funding package of $1.6 billion would help build roughly 62 miles of border wall. In May, Democrats, aided by a passive GOP leadership, blocked a 2017 funding package that would have helped quickly build 42 miles of wall. Led by Chuck Schumer, Democrats are hoping to block any wall construction, which Construction's already on the way. I talked about it, I think it was last week. Construction has started in parts of California where the funding's there. They don't need permission. They've already jumped all the EPA regulations and any environmental regulations, and they're starting construction. And it just, again, Chuck Schumer's trying to block the construction of the wall, so protecting the northward flow of government-dependent workers to Democrat-run cities, and also breaking Trump's 2016 primary campaign promise. We talked about it yesterday, too, because now you have California's senators. Who's going to pick the crops? Who's going to pick the cotton? But Democratic politicians are also being squeezed between the radical base and popular opinion, which favors Trump immigration reform plan. For example, Politico reported that Senator Tammy Baldwin is opposing the border fence. I do know for a fact that every Democrat considers wall funding to be a poison pill, she told Politico. But a recent poll shows that Trump's immigration reform gets overwhelming support in Wisconsin, where Baldwin must face the voters in 2018. The June poll of 1,000 likely midterm voters was conducted for Numbers USA, which favors Trump's merit immigration reform. For example, the poll asked, do you strongly support, somewhat oppose, strongly oppose setting up rules to ensure that businesses give first preference for jobs to American workers and legal immigrants already in this country before businesses can ask for new immigrant workers? The proposal won 53% strong support and only 6% strong opposed. The Numbers USA group also polled in Montana, where Democrat Senator John Tester is also up for election in 2018. He suggested to Politico that he could support Trump's double-layer fence, saying there are places where the wall makes sense and there are places where the wall doesn't make sense. There are better options. I'll just take a look at it and see. You know what? I know some people take it literally that it has to be this concrete wall that gets put up. I'm not one of them. I can understand where you want a fence, where you might have water runoff. There's multiple goddamn reasons. There's different types of fences. There's different constructions. As long as there's something securing the border, I'm fine with it. It doesn't have to be a wall. This concrete 200-foot wall. Hell, I like the idea of putting solar panels on it. Clean energy. And the Democrats fight against it. And that's the funny part. 8 additional Democrat senators are up for election in 2018 in states where Trump won. In 2014, Schumer and Democrats lost 10 Senate seats after trying to push through the so-called Gang of 8 cheap labor and amnesty bill. Remember that they pushed that amnesty, and the Democrats lost. They're still trying to push those ideology, and they keep losing. And they're still pushing it. We'll see how it goes. I mean, we got some time to tell, but I don't know. Under pre-Trump policies, the federal government annual imports 1 million legal immigrants into the United States, just as 4 million young Americans turn 18. The federal government also awards roughly 1.5 million temporary work permits to foreigners, grants temporary work visas to roughly 500,000 new contract workers such as H-1B workers, and also largely ignores the resident population of 18 million employed illegal immigrants. The current annual flood of foreign labor spikes profits and Wall Street values by cutting salaries for manual and skilled laborers offered by blue-collar and white-collar employees. It also drives up real estate prices, widens the wealth gap, reduces high-tech investment, increases state and local tax burdens, hurts kids' schools and college education, and sidelines at least 5 million marginalized Americans and their family. And that is what the Democrat Party is pushing. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cat for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. Damn chair. I'm trying to make sense out of senseless, and I'm trying to get my chair in the right spot. I have my own little groove of where it goes, and can't find it right now. Oh, smart ass. Sackhead Sean's being a smart ass. Oh. All right, now that I'm totally off my game, Thought Policing 101 by Lena Dunham. She's faster than a speeding tweet, more woke than a college freshman, able to leap cultural miscues in a single bound. She's Lena Dunham, and she's here to protect us from our own thoughts, only sometimes she doesn't get her facts straight. And even when she does, she sends a chill down the spine of anyone who cares about free expression. The girl's alumni is in the news again for her attempt to shame 2 airline workers for their alleged transphobic opinion. Last week, Dunham tweeted that she overheard 2 American airline flight attendants utter transphobic hate speech while at New York's JFK airport. That sent the media into a predictable feeding frenzy. American Airlines vowed to investigate based on, well, not much as it turns out. Another report showed flaws in Dunham's story, including the inconvenient fact that American Airlines doesn't operate out of the terminal. She claims to hear the comments. Uh-oh. She accused American Airlines stewardesses, or attendants, sorry. Hopefully I didn't offend calling them stewardess. And they don't even fly out of that terminal. So they wouldn't be in that terminal. So she didn't hear that conversation. This is from an author who once had to have her autobiography tweaked after unfairly insinuating a conservative college student sexually attacked her. Dunham also got into trouble recently for giving up her adopted dog because the animal was too aggressive. The shelter where she originally adopted the animal denied the dog had those tendencies. Transgate is mostly settled for now. The attendants were not singled out, let alone doxxed. American Airlines confirmed its commitment to diversity, and Dunham won't suffer for sharing a tale that could be part fiction, part truth. So basically, just in case you didn't hear, this overzealous social justice snowflake walking through a terminal supposedly overhears 2 airline attendants that are walking by make a comment that they don't basically approve of trans kids. They find it disgusting. And Lena Dunham, especially when you're talking 5, 6-year-olds that don't even know what the hell a boy and a girl are. I find it sick when parents force that on them. I find it absolutely appalling that parents would force that ideology onto them. When they get older, if they feel, then fine. That's different. But when you force it onto a kid, what you are doing, guess what? If you have a penis, you have male genitalia. You have male chromosomes. You have male parts. That makes you a male. You know, on a medical standpoint, you are a male. And not omitting it can be dangerous to your health. So, but let's go back to just the whole airline. The airline, these 2 attendants supposedly were walking, having a private conversation between the 2 of them. They weren't working at the time. They were walking and having a conversation that was eavesdropped on, where she didn't get any of the information right. She couldn't even tell who it was. So how are we supposed to trust if her conversation was truthful, or the conversation that she supposedly overheard? Sounds like she wasn't in the media enough, so she decided to come up with another bullshit story, what she's becoming known for. She's becoming known for these over-exaggerated bullshit lies. And that's being kind. So why will Dunham dodge any fallout from a bullshit story she created? Because she shared the social approved position on the subject per the PC mandate in 2017. One can never speak ill of the trans community. So even she bungled every single fact in her story, something we may never know, she was on the right side of the cultural debate. No, I don't think she was on the right side of the cultural debate. Because here's what I have. You hear from the LGBT community. They don't want people forcing their way of life onto them. But now we are being forced to accept their way of life. It's being forced upon us. We have no right to any opinion. And you don't know my opinion, but I know they'll try to jump on it. I have a gay EMS partners. I had a gay uncle. He passed away a couple years ago due to kidney failure and many years. Damn it. Can't think of the procedure. Oh, whatever. Dialysis. After a while, he stopped doing dialysis and went to do a kidney transplant, and he passed away. He was gay. Who gives a shit? In gay marriage, I really don't give a crap. If I got to be tortured and married, so should they. They should have to go through the same torture I do. But stop forcing it on us. Stop forcing that we have to like it. You're doing exactly what you're complaining other people are doing to you. You're doing the exact same thing. And let me tell you, I didn't come up with that idea. A friend of mine that was gay had that idea. He said he wants to be left alone to live his life. So why is he going to force everybody to accept his way of life when that's what he complains about, is everybody's trying to force their way of life on him? He understands there's people that don't like it. He doesn't like heterosexual sex. Just everybody live your fucking lives. It's that easy. But no, you have people that are forcing this shit on everybody. This transgender thing is being jammed down our throat that we have to accept. We have to love it. We have to like it. And anymore, nobody can have a fucking opinion, because if you have opinion that's against the social construct that's going on with these social justice warrior, it's automatically hate speech. If you disagree with them, it's hate speech. You don't have a right to your own opinion, but they have a right to theirs. Fuck you. I have a right to whatever opinion I want. And if I don't want to like transsexuals, I have the right to. If I don't want to like gay people, I have the right to. If I don't want to like straight people, I have the right to. I always make the joke that I'm an equal opportunity hater, and that's what I am. Most people, majority of the people, piss me off, and I don't want to be around them. Why? Because of shit like this. I don't want to deal with people because they're always forcing their opinions on everybody else. And just like you're forcing your opinion. No, I'm not, because you can turn my show off. That simple. Just ask Dave Chappelle. He's arguably the most critically hailed stand-up comic, yet he recently told jokes involving trans people and caught holy hell as a result. You can't even make jokes anymore. But they try to make jokes about us. They can make jokes about Trump supporters. They can make jokes about conservatives, and we have to shut up and take it. You make one gay joke, and holy shit. 2 gay guys die. Which one goes to heaven first? Whichever one has his shit packed. It's a joke if you don't like it. I've told that in a gay bar, and they laughed their ass off because they got the double entendre on it. Oh, you got your suitcase packed. Yeah, I got my ass packed. Yeah, hey, good one. Who gives a shit? The fuck over it. Bunch of whiny-ass bastard people are anymore. Oh, they're pushing shit on. Pushing and pushing. Push it real good. No, I can't dance, so I'm going to stop. I can't even chair dance. I suck at that, too. The Dunham affair still begs some serious question. Why didn't Dunham approach the offending attendants directly? That might have yielded a teachable moment for all involved. Instead, she fired off a tweet and started an episode which, to some, cast the airline in a negative light. And now the airline had shit to do with it. And a lot of people won't see that the airline didn't have shit to do with it. They'll just see the lie that Leah Dunham put out there about him. So you have, and then with great power comes great responsibility. That's what a doomed uncle once told a budding wall crawler. Celebrities like Dunham, fair or not, wield cultural power. She has far more Twitter followers than most of her fans, 5.454 million to be exact. So you got a bunch of them that see she made that statement, American Airlines. How many of them saw that it was the wrong airline, or that this comment may not have even been said? How about she went over and said, hey, I heard your conversation. It kind of pissed me off. And with you guys in uniform, that you're looking as an official from the airline. Yeah, that would have been more. That would have been a little bit smarter. It just. And the thing is, the attendants then in question didn't even personally shame a trans person or kid. They were having a private conversation which Dunham allegedly overheard. Is it possible the conversation Dunham heard was as lazy as it was callous? Should they be penalized for something they didn't share with customers or even via a tweet or Reddit chat? Could it be that maybe Dunham didn't hear the whole part of the conversation and only heard maybe 1/10? And maybe they were telling a story of what somebody said and then turned around and said, I find that opinion wholly disgusting and I don't agree with what that just said. No, she didn't hear the whole conversation. She overheard a snippet. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mud Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Oh, I don't know. Now, Lena Dunham, the woman thinks she has more power than she actually has, and it makes you want to shake your head and go, what the fuck? So what? Someone said something that you don't agree with. Piss off and go on. It's shit said all the time that I don't always agree with, but guess what? I live my life and I go on. I don't run, oh my God, did you hear what this person said? Well, I sort of do, but you get the point. Oh, I'm not trying to dox, innocent workers, everyday life people that may have a different opinion than me. It's... Wait a minute. Sorry, it's hockey season, season getting ready to start. So there's rumors of trades and all that. And one caught my eye. And is it possible the conversation Dunham heard was as lazy as it was callous? Should they be penalized for something they didn't share with customers or even via Twitter or Reddit, as I said before? Why drag the airline in question into this in the first place? How can any company corral inappropriate thoughts for their workers? We all do and say ugly things at times. We can't be our very best selves 24/7. It's impossible. We don't want flight attendants being hateful. But should we follow them around to make sure they never say a bad word? Where would that end? Think of the implications at the time when smartphones were everywhere and information could be sent worldwide within seconds. And what about the rest of us? Imagine if a star heard you or me sharing an off-color joke and tweeted it out to his social or her social media minions. Our lives could be wrecked as a result. It's Thought Policy 101, and it's all the more ironic at a time when the left and the media keeps harping on the cautionary tales like 1984 and The Handmaid's Tale as disparaging in the age of Trump. It's more than ironic. For all the president's bluster and blunder, he's not engaging in overthought police tactics. Dunham is. Will any of those in Hollywood religiously attacking Donald Trump share some social media characters on what Dunham did? It's hard to turn on a friend, particularly a showbiz chum, but someone should tell Dunham her thought police tactics are wrong. Better to hear from an ally than on a social media mob. It's ridiculous. And I have said inappropriate things at times in my past. Just spouting off angry, I've said some stupid shit. I'm human. I have. I've corrected those issues. Have I told some real racy jokes? Yes. Have I told them about whites? Yes. Irish, German. I don't give a shit. I'll make a joke about anybody. Does that make me lesser human? Does that mean I don't care about anybody? Well, my record says I do care. I didn't care what color, religion, nationality, ethnicity. I didn't care. I gave my body to help everybody, to save them. And yes, sometimes religion did play in how I treated patients because some religions require certain tactics to be used and certain treatments to be used or not used. You're only allowed to talk to certain family members, and that's what I mean when the religions come into play. You can only talk to certain family members. You can't talk directly to a female, and some you only talk to the husband or so forth. It's really weird. You don't know until you get there sometimes what's going on, and I didn't care. I did what needed to be done to save a life. Does that mean me making a joke mean I hate everybody? Well, I do hate everybody, but you know what I mean. This overzealous thought police that the left are trying to do, nobody can have any contradiction of opinions. And it's just even worse, the left labeling everything hate speech. It is attack, and it's censorship. It didn't work with the it worked for a while with politically correct speak. We figured that out. We fought back. And now they're trying to, because they can't use, it's not politically correct to say that. Well, you're censoring. Well, now they're trying to censor by saying, that is hate speech. Is this hate speech? President Clinton. We're going to do a little flashback here. We're going to go back in time. Let's set up the time machine. Go back. Woo! I forgot to mix up the lemon juice and the iced tea. Wow! President Trump's tough language towards North Korea is causing many in the mainstream media to clutch their pearls and accuse Trump of being rash and reckless. No president has ever spoke this way. Oh my God, any president I've ever known has never spoke this way. Oh, the rhetoric. Oh, the humanity. Oh, the full of shit they are. 20 years ago, Bill Clinton, as president, used similarly tough language against the same regime. Trump sent the media and Twitter into panic mode when he gave a snark warning to North Korea Tuesday after the Washington Post reported the rogue regime had developed miniaturized nuclear weapons for its missiles with the ability to hit the United States. And oh, by the way, Obama's administration and Obama knew about it. They knew North Korea had those ability. Fact, it was in 2013, one of their guys accidentally let it slip that North Korea miniaturized their nukes for a weapon on a missile. And he lied. He didn't know what he was talking about. Got a zip. No. He didn't know what he was talking about. But guess what? They knew. And you know what they did? Nothing. They waited and they pushed it off and they let little Kim Jong fat boy run his mouth, waiting for another president to come along to deal with it. Obama knew and did jack shit about it again on another thing. That man did at least the amount as a president. He knew North Korea had fucking nuclear weapons on missiles and could hit the United States, and he does jack shit about it. And then Susan Rice is out there. Oh, Trump should just, sit back and accept North Korea as a nuclear weapons country. You ought to worry about your ass being in trouble for unmasking American citizens. It just, oh my God. North Korea best not make any more threats to the United States. They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen, Trump said. Liberals quickly condemned Trump's remark, with many predicting the end of the world on Twitter. Here it comes.
The sky is falling, the sky is falling, the sky is falling.
We need to be firm and deliberate with North Korea, but reckless rhetoric is not a strategy to keep America safe, was Chuck Schumer, who called Trump's words reckless. A New York Times report on Trump's remark said was more typical of North Korea propagandists than it was of past American presidents. Even John McCain expressed his displeasure at the remark, saying, all it's going to do is bring us closer to some kind of serious confrontation. Even though I keep saying we need to go to war with everybody, I think we need to go to war with school children. But, wait a minute, Trump wants to go, talk tough with North Korea. Oh, I'm against that. I never thought I'd see so many fucking politicians, so many pussy politicians stand up and try to protect North Korea. When did this shit start to happen? They want to talk about colluding. They're trying to help North Korea. God. But back in 1993, President Bill Clinton, come here, little girl, I got a cigar for you. Come into the Oval Office, we'll have some fun. Gave perhaps an even starker warning to North Korea. In a trip to Seoul, South Korea, Trump said that if North Korea gained and used a nuclear weapon, we would quickly and overwhelmingly retaliate. It would mean the end of their country as we know it, he said, according to a New York Times report at the time. The North Korean government subsequently reported angrily and in kind to the threat from the new president. The United States must ponder over the fatal consequences that might arise from its rash act, the government stated in a statement. If anyone dares to provoke us, we will immediately show him in practice what our bold decision is. Clinton would go on to negotiate an agreed framework in 1994 that was hailed as a way to prevent North Korea from getting nuclear weapons, a deal that is now widely accepted as being a complete, utter fucking failure. Nice going, Bill. You did jack shit. You kicked the can down the road. Bush kicked the can down the road. Obama kicked the can down the road. Trump's going to recycle it. Of course, you got Maxine Water out there going out there and being real helpful. Real helpful. This one off. Oh. Who was it? Not Bloomberg. Huckabee said we ought to send Maxine Waters to North Korea. They'll surrender in 5 minutes. Send her over there. Go. Problem is, she'd be bitching about Trump so much, they'd probably make her co-leader of North Korea. But she goes, and Wednesday night in Beverly Hills, California, TMZ caught up with Representative Maxine Waters, and she said President Trump was bluffing with his fire and fury, warning North Korea. Waters said, I think there are some things that they want from us, and we have to find out whether or not we can work with them on the things that they're asking for. And so this is something we should be very concerned about, but this is not the time to go bluffing and threatening. This is a time for diplomacy. How long does diplomacy take? 3 presidents we've been working with diplomacy on these cocksuckers. Damn. That's all you ever hear out of Democrats. We need to do diplomacy. We're getting a nuclear missile shoved up our ass right now. We need to work on diplomacy. Your city's burning where you're from. We need to work on diplomacy. There's a hurricane coming. We need to talk to it. We need to find out what it wants. Yeah, please send Maxine Waters over there Tell her that Kim Jong-un is a personal friend of Trump. Jesus, and if he was too weak on him, he's colluding with North Korea. Oh, he's trying to help North Korea. Nothing this man says or does, the Democrats will agree with. And you know what's funny? They complain about goddamn Twitter. Where the fuck are all these goddamn Democrats? You got Schumer on Twitter. Trump shouldn't be tweeting as much as he does. What do you think you're doing, jackass? Moron. Oh, my God. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. And we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. Mic cut out for a second. Welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover has expanded to 2 hours. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to watch a broadcast, it's easy. Go to Reaver.one. That is REAVER.ONE. And click on the SHR TV button. It's that simple. Don't forget, coming up top of the hour, at the end of the Reaver of Common Sense, will be BZ Berserk Bobcat Saloon. Belly up to the bar. Joining in on the conversation. So, let's see, where are we? Almost forgot. Elizabeth Warren opposes Israel anti-boycott act. I'm shocked. I'm mortified. This week, progressive Senator Elizabeth Warren joined Senator Kristen Gilbride of New York, Democrat, in opposing bipartisan Israel anti-boycott act, claiming the bill violates the First Amendment right to support boycotting Israel and the settlements by penalizing U.S. citizens. Yes, she thinks. So, basically, it just goes to show Democrat Party is no longer the party of Israel or for Jews. They've been turning their back nonstop on Israel. The boycott, divestment, and sanction movement, the BDS, is an anti-Israel effort that seeks to cripple the Middle East democracy legitimacy by targeting it financially and subjecting it to left-wing propaganda. I do not support the boycott. I think the boycott is wrong, but I think outlawing protected free speech activity violates our basic constitution. Warren said during her 10th town hall of the year in Reaver, Massachusetts on Saturday. Oh, I know I'll get some hate mail for that. Remember, all hate mail goes to Crash at Reaver.one. One of these days we'll actually take a look at that, see if there's any hate mail. I gotta see some. It's absolutely a joke. The boycotts that are going on are helping a terrorist organization in Hamas. The Democrats used to be the party that were there for Israel, and now they're getting overtaken by this progressive anti-Jewish movement, and it's just amazing. It's I don't know. Warren's statement came in response to a question asked by Jewish Voice for Peace, JVP member William Raw. Sorry, I ain't going to try. Who asked Senator Warren, will you stand with us in opposing the Israel Anti-Boycott Act? At an event in April, JVP hosted a convicted former Palestine terrorist who is scheduled for deportation from the United States this month for lying on her immigration papers. The Israel Anti-Boycott Act, which was introduced by Warren's fellow Democrat Ben Cardin in March and supported by 45 additional senators from the Republican and Democrat parties, opposes the United Nations Human Rights Council resolution of March 24, 2016, which urges countries to pressure companies to divest from or break contracts with Israel and encourages full implementation of the United States-Israel Strategic Partnership Act of 2014 through enhancement government-wide coordinated U.S.-Israel scientific and technological cooperation in civilian areas. Last week, Senator Gillibrand came under fire from World Jewish Congress president, who said he was deeply disturbed by her decision to withdraw her backing of the act. Gillibrand also cited the First Amendment as the basis for her choice, a position held by progressive groups like the American Civil Liberty Union, ACLU. It was previously reported in an op-ed last month. The ACU wrote, last week the ACU came out against a bill that would criminalize constitutionally protected boycotts and certain speech targeting Israel. The Israel Anti-Boycott Act, which was introduced in both House and Senate earlier this year, would expand a 1970s era export law and expose a range of activities to sweeping penalties, including criminal prosecution. The ACU was also targeted member of the Democrat Party over their support for Israel. Last month, they attacked Senator Maggie Hansen for supporting the Israel Anti-Boycott Act. In a recent interview with Breitbart News, Jacob Milner, senior policy analyst for the Israel Project, said the ACO is wrong. They are not interpreting the bill correctly. The bill is not dealing with personal speech. It's dealing with commercial activity. The ACU is conveniently leaving out the fact that the 1979 anti-boycott bill has been upheld as constitutional. These bills have now passed in 22 states, and it's important that we call out BDS for what it is, a hate campaign against Israel. It's economic warfare. It's not a human rights campaign. It's an effort to delegitimize the Jewish state. I don't know. I don't know when the Democrat Party turned so far to the dark side. And what's even worse is there's so many Jewish people that still back the party without knowing the full fully knowing exactly what's going on in the party. It's amazing. Utterly amazing. I just, sometimes you just want to step back and go, what the fuck? Trying to figure it out. I'm looking over here. I want to have where my show is automatically posted every day. Just done. And on my website, like a new post. It is not empty. What the fuck is going on? Oh, boy. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. I don't understand what's going on right now. The Democrat Party just they've gone off the rails big time. They used to, back the Jewish community 100%, and now it's like the party is just switching. On some more good news, judge orders State Department to search state.gov accounts for Clinton aides Benghazi emails. A federal judge has ordered the State Department to search the state gov email accounts of Hillary Clinton's aides Huma Abedin, Cheryl Mills, Jacob Sullivan for records related to Benghazi as part of a Watchdog's Freedom of Information Act lawsuit. The U.S. District Judge for the District of Columbia made the call Tuesday, describing the FOIA lawsuit filed by Judicial Watch in March 2015 as a far cry from a typical Freedom of Information Act case. He noted that Secretary Clinton used a private email server located in her home to transmit and receive work-related communications during her tenure as Secretary of State. The sole remaining dispute in this case is the adequacy of states' search for responsive records. The judge further, that was in his opinion and order, noting the State Department has argued the search through Clinton aides' email is likely to be unfruitful. But the judge wrote that the State Department has not, however, searched the one record system over which it has always had control, and that is almost certainly to contain some responsive record, the state.gov email server. If Secretary Clinton sent an email about Benghazi to Abedin, Mills, or Sullivan at his or her state.gov email address, or if one of them sent an email to Secretary Clinton using his or her state.gov account, then state servers presumably would have captured and stored such an email. State has an obligation to search its own servers for responsive records. A conservative watchdog group is engaged in numerous Freedom of Information lawsuits seeking records pertaining to the action of the last administration, including, in this case, records regarding the response to the 2012 terror attack in Libya. The court ordered that State Department conduct a supplemental search of Abedin, Mills, and Sullivan's state.gov email accounts and set a deadline of September 22nd for the department to update the court on the status. This major court ruling may finally result in more answers about the Benghazi scandal and Hillary Clinton's involvement in it. As we approach the attack's 5th anniversary, Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton said, "It is remarkable that we had to battle both Obama and Trump administrations to break through the State Department's Benghazi stonewall." Just when they thought they were safe about Benghazi, and we must always remember and fight to make sure we remember not just 9/11 for September 11th, 2001, to also remember September 11th, 2012. It's ridiculous that we have had to go this far and fight this much. Hang on. One of the first shows I did live, one of them, not the first, but the one that really pushed this show to go live, was my interview with Chris Pronto. This is going back a ways. 13 Hours, the book had just come out, and he was doing his tour of the book. And I can't believe that that our government abandoned our people like that, and then to cover it up like they did, and to have someone like Adam Schiff calling those guys liars, it still floors me. It's amazing, but it's not shocking. All right. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cap for the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its host, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. I'm at a loss sometimes, but one thing I'm not at a loss at, in just about 35 minutes. 35 minutes. That's right. Will be BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, of course, hosted by BZ. Belly up to the bar, grab a drink, and join the conversation. That will be at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, coming up right after the Reaver of Common Sense. Now that a judge has ordered the State Department to try again to find the emails top Hillary Clinton aides wrote about Benghazi attack, it's coming out. You know, the State Department did everything they could to hide Clinton Benghazi emails. On America's Top News today, Steve Hayes explained that the judge ruled that the State Department must now search through its own internal records, which is previously neglected to do. You'd think that'd be the first place they fucking look. Let's look at our internal, Since everybody's not using it, maybe that's why they used it. That seems to be an obvious place for state to search if state had been interested in actually finding record responsive to these Freedom of Information requests. He said it's obvious, however, that the State Department was not interested in complying with the Freedom of Information Act requests related to Benghazi. They did everything they could to hide these records. Toying with congressional investigators who wanted this, being unresponsive to the Freedom of Information Act folks, deliberately trying to hide emails that they had through classified games. He said it's not surprise that the State Department bureaucracy hasn't operated in good faith. The bottom line on all of this is the State Department didn't do its job. If we wanted to get to the bottom of what happened in Benghazi, these would obviously be the first things, or among the first things that you would search for. The fact that the State Department didn't do it and resisted requests, it speaks volumes. It's absolutely amazing. So this, I don't know whether to believe this. I was kind of at a loss. But it's a new article coming up. Sorry, I know I jumped right away into that. But Canada sends soldiers to handle illegal floodings or illegals flooding into the southern border of Canada. Now, didn't Trudeau run out there and, we'll take all your illegals? We have no problem. We'll take them. We'll take them. We'll take them. Now it's, oh, shit. Yeah. The Associated Press reported Wednesday that the Canadian government is sending about 100 soldiers to assist police and border guards at the remote road and Quebec-New York border that has become the nexus of an outpouring of illegal aliens living in America. The backroads crossing with no official border post near Chaplin, New York, and Quebec has seen thousands of people, mostly Haitians residing in the U.S., come by taxi and other conveyance to try to illegally enter Canada. Typically, the outflow is reported as resulting from fear of climate created for illegals in the United States. Haitians, in particular, may be agitated because the temporary protective status many of them are granted in the aftermath of that country's devastating 2011 earthquake may be coming to an end. The status granted by the Department of Homeland Security to specific groups of people suffering from war or natural disaster has been an extended time, and again over the last 7 years, from its original 6-month grant. TPS was never meant to grant the Haitians covered by its permanent residency in the United States, and they were expected to return to Haiti when the disaster had passed. So a original 6-month grant is now 7 years later. That's 6.5 years past its time. Maybe some of that money Hillary Clinton that scammed off at Haiti might have helped bring them back. But I find it funny, now they're flooding into Canada, and Canada's going, oh, shit, no, 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 no. They were chastising us about illegal aliens, and now they don't want them in their country. What the fuck, Trudeau? You double talking? Because you had to send those soldiers there. Sounds like you're full of shit. Trying to figure something out. What the hell? Oh. Ouch. All right. It just... What the hell? In May, then Department of Homeland Secretary John Kelly announced TPS for Haitians would be extended one more time until January 2018, with a strong indication that this will be the final extension. The Haitians now illegally entering Canada hope to avoid going back to their home country after the end of their special protection. Others, including Africans in America on tourist visa, are trying to find permanent homes in Canada under the same asylum-seeker system loophole. If they cross at an official border post, their claim would be adjunctly immediately, but since they crossed at this back road, they can stay in Canada while their applications penned. More than 5,000 people have taken advantage so far. Canadian officials told the AP they estimated 400 illegals crossed the border this Sunday alone. The flood is beginning to overwhelm the resource devoted to the problem so far, with Montreal's iconic Olympic Stadium already being transformed into a refugee center to handle the influx. You know, it was real nice and great when they were lecturing us Americans on how to handle the influx and that we had to accept and help these people. Now they're getting an influx of illegal immigrants, and they want to put border up to not allow it. Kind of different when the shoe's on the other foot, isn't it, Canada? Eh? BZ! I am... Are they better tasting blue cakes in the men's urinal, or the same taste? The soldiers from the Canadian Forces have deployed to assist the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and the Canadian Border Service agencies. According to the AP report, the soldiers are there to set up a more permanent border crossing, including a tent camp for up to 500 migrants who are being arrested as soon as they set foot on Canadian soil. The migrants' hope is to gain legal status through a relatively forgiving Canadian asylum law. Liberal Party Member of Parliament Brandon Shanahan, who represents the district in which crossing lies, tried to tamp down the migrants' expectation when she spoke to reporters. It's not a free ticket for refugee status. We would actually like to make that very clear, that regardless of what people are reading on social media and so on, crossing the border here does not guarantee an automatic entrance. Again, they had no problem lecturing us to take in all these people. They had no problem lecturing us that we had to be more open. They had no problem. But now it's happening to them, and now they're going, oh shit, and they want to stop the flow of illegals. Well, you know what? Leave your border open. Prime Minister Trudeau opened his mouth. Now keep your borders open. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Survey says only 1 in 20 House Democrats hopefully support Nancy Pelosi. A survey of 20 Democrats running for a House seat in the 2018 midterm election revealed only one vowed support for House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi if elected. Nancy Pelosi might actually be in trouble, as Sacramento Bee reported last week. The Bee reported that 18 of the 20 would not say if Pelosi should keep her job, while one said he would vote for someone else for the leadership position in the House. Seems like her little rhetoric might be wrong, where she said she'll decide when it's time to step down. Well, it sounds like your fellow Democrats may be saying when it's time to step down. Only one candidate, a former Senate staffer from Oregon County, California, said he would support Pelosi, according to the Bee. Their refusal is a remarkable development for an already embattled minority leader. Even other congressional leaders like Republican House Speaker Paul Ryan and Senate Leader Mitch McConnell are similarly unpopular in polls, to be reported. And this has been for a while now. You have Paul Ryan running his mouth about Trump. You have Mitch McConnell running his mouth about Trump. You have Nancy Pelosi running her mouth about Trump. And you have Chuck Schumer running his mouth about Trump. Here's the thing. Their numbers are worse than Trump's. That's the funny part. Their approval ratings are worse than Trump's, but yet they're running their mouth talking about Trump. He's got better approval ratings than them underneath these bullshit polls. Does that tell you anything, people? Does that tell you anything? These people are basically trying to distract from their polls by bitching about Trump's. Trump's doing better. He's doing better than Congress is as a whole. Trump's back up to 44%, and you know that's higher than that. I'd put him probably at 56 then. They always do a heavy Democrat level, and the age group is always young. But even at 44%, and they've been running in under 20%. Those four, the four stooges there have been subpar 20% at one point. I don't know what it is recently, but I know they were down there. Congress has a low percentage that's lower than Trump. Media has a lower approval rating than Trump, and all of them are ganging up on Trump when he's doing better than they are. Pot, meet kettle. Kettle, meet pot. Jesus. But this is 1 in 20. Only 1 in 20 are willing to support. And Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan may be in trouble come the beginning of next year. Democrats feel they have traction to win back the House because of what they see as a deep disapproval of President Donald Trump. That I find funny right there. But Pelosi is also unpopular and is blamed by some for the many Democrat losses in recent House races. We are overdue for a new generation of leadership, said Kenneth Harbaugh, a candidate in Ohio's 7th Congressional District and the only candidate who said he wouldn't support Pelosi. We have a remarkable opportunity in front of us, and it's going to take new thinking and new leadership to capitalize on it. The Bee reported that a Pelosi aide dismissed the survey's finding. Candidates across the country are focused on issues that matter to their constituents, such as better jobs, better wages, better pizza, not the latest Beltway gossip, a spokesman for Pelosi's campaign said. Leader Pelosi has the overwhelming backing of the House Democrat caucus because she continues to unify Democrats in our battle to defeat Trump care. It isn't so much that Democrats defeated Trump care as Republicans defeated Trump care. They defeated... I'm not even going to go there. Republicans hope to make the most of the debate on Pelosi and the future of Democrats in the House. Democrats' candidate and their ties to Nancy Pelosi will be an issue in every single competitive race next fall, spokesman for the National Republican Congressional Committee. And the other thing I want to bring up is, how are they going to afford this midterm election? Freaking Democrat Party is broke. Broke as can be. I think they're in debt. Where Republicans... they're always talking about how unpopular Trump is, but the Republican Party has record number of donations. Money's great in the Republican Party, and the Democrats could probably buy the local newspaper. They're in financial trouble. How are they going to run all these political campaigns? Sorry, total brain fart there. Someone explain, how are they going to run political campaigns when they don't have any money? Not nobody, but the people aren't donating to the Democrat Party like they used to. There's not that euphemism that's behind the Democrat Party. I know they keep saying they're going to win, but they've been saying that the last Every 2-year elections, Pelosi said they're going to take back, 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 they're going to take back. Sounds like a fucking broken record she does. I don't want to see her be right, but you know what? She's been saying the same thing time and time and time again. Ever since she became the party leader, that's been the party. She is the best thing to happen for the Republicans since Obama. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reverbcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. And I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless, but sometimes it's really far-fetched. Don't forget the expansion is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. And if you want to watch broadcasts, it's easy. Go to Reaver.one. That's REAVER.ONE. And click on the SHR TV button to watch. And 15 minutes, under 15 minutes, the bar will be opening up. The saloon, I should say, will be opening up. BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon will be coming up next with the great host, BZ himself. Belly up to the bar. Remember, the speech is free, but the drinks are about 20 times the cost. Yeah, he adds too much water, I think. Too much soda. Sorry, but you need to put a little bit more alcohol for the price we pay. I mean, you get a little thimbleful. It's 90% Coke and, 10% rum, and you charge, what, $50 a thimbleful? Come on. Capitalism? Oh, that ain't capitalism. Tell you, BZ. Scarborough calls out Trump for reading conservative news and calls him sick. Yes, Trump reads conservative news and he's sick for it. Here, let's bring it up to listen to Jackass himself after this commercial. Come on.
That's the same. Yeah. And that puffs him up. And it is a blessing, though, I've got to say, to be able to work with you every day that I work with you, Willie.
Thank you.
Though, what is the alternative? Would we rather have people deliver Donald Trump a dossier of bad news every day? We know that never ends well. As we've said before, we think it's in America's best interest and the best interest of the world that Donald Trump doesn't watch Morning Joe every morning because it makes him so angry. If watching Fox Friends and reading happy stories and seeing pictures where he looks powerful keeps Donald Trump from going on the warpath, maybe that's exactly what the doctor ordered.
Joe, Willie and I have collected these clips that we want to present you later today. They're awesome stuff in here with some great pictures of you.
Great tweets.
Yeah.
Well, do I look particularly powerful, Mike?
You look both powerful and very handsome, and your hair looks beautiful.
Oh, that's fantastic. Let me ask you, who do people say I am, Mike?
They say you sort of remind them of Kim Jong-un.
Oh, that's
your leader.
And as you
Just
know,
physically.
I take that as a compliment. See, we can't even pretend to do this without it sliding into an insult within 5 seconds. And you really do wonder what type of grown-up requires so much back-patting and so much stroking of his ego as does the President of the United States. This seems sick. The last thing in the world I want is people sending me positive articles about myself.
And that's, they think, is news. That was just ridiculous. That was a joke. It's a piece, it seems like, so they can knock him. Oh, he gets a lot of good news on his desk. Well, you know what? The only ones that are giving it are the fake news, such as yourself, Joe Scarborough. If you actually knew what was going on in the real world, outside your little fucking bubble, you would see it's not so much a doom and gloom as you think. Drives me up a wall. I mean, the guy called himself a conservative, or at least a Republican. Yeah. He's another one of these wannabe GOPers. And this, Brian Williams says it's their job to scare people to death with Trump and North Korea. It's their job to scare the shit out of us. What crack are these idiots smoking nowadays? Because they got to be getting some kind of good crack or something. Because the shit they come up with, I mean, MSNBC's Joe Scarborough and his little whatever her name is, Mia, whatever. As she said, it's their job to tell us what to think. And now they got to scare the shit out of us. Yes, it's called fear-mongering. They keep accusing everybody else of doing it, and they're the ones that keep doing the fear-mongering. It's another bad day out here. Trump's going to kill us. Oh, my God. Trump spoke mean to North Korea. He stood up to North Korea. How dare he? We need to sit back. We need to ignore things like Obama did. I mean, Obama knew he miniaturized nukes for a missile and sat back and did nothing. Yeah, how did that help us out? Let's see. We've had Bill Clinton sit back and do nothing. Bush kicked the can down the road. And now we got North Korea with ICBMs that could reach America with miniaturized nukes. Great job. We see diplomacy worked real fucking great. Yeah, all those years of paying them off to shut them up worked great. Idiots. Again, how long do we sit here and go into diplomacy with a crazed dictator like Kim Jong-un? How long do we go into trying to talk to him? Until he finally shoves that missile up our ass? Hey, look, Joe, you're glowing. That does great on you. Well, let's try to work some diplomacy with North Korea. You know, we got that nuclear bomb setting off a couple miles here. You know, but we should still talk to him. Trump better not speak mean of him. What the fuck? Oh my God, when did we start trying to... When did the Democrat Party start babysitting or, trying to help North Korea? I don't know. That whole party has me in a what the hell. New York Times story on a bombshell climate report is fakest of fake news. Scientists behind a bombshell new report revealing global warming to be worse than ever are now worried that the Trump administration may try to change or suppress it because it contradicts the presidential's denialist agenda. Or so the New York Times has claimed. And also in its wake, papers include the London Evening Standard and The Guardian. Freaking telemarketers calling at 10:45. Holy shit. This is worse than more than fake news. This is fake news with icing and cherries on top, ringing on its fingers, bells on its toes, and specially commissioned forwarded by Al Gore and rave reviews. Written from hell by the torment shade of Joseph Goebbels himself. No, it might actually be worse than that. First, the New York Times initially claimed, before being embarrassed by the Daily Caller into a retraction, that this draft report from the National Climate Assessment by scientists from 13 federal agencies had not yet been made public. Nope, not as even some of the scientists who had contributed to it had to admit draft version of this report had been available on the internet for months. Perhaps this was simply a mistake by the New York Times, but suspicion arose that what it was actually doing was trying to sex up a tired old story as part of a concert drive by climate alarmist establishment to embarrass the Trump administration in the wake of its withdrawal from the Paris Climate Agreement. Nevertheless, if you believe the New York Times version of the event, this is still dynamic. It directly contradicts claim by President Trump and member of his cabinet who say that the human contribution to climate change is uncertain and that the ability to predict the effect is limited. And the authors note that thousands of studies conducted by 10,000s of scientists have documented climate change on the land and the air. Many lines of evidence demonstrate that humans' activity, especially emissions of greenhouse heat-trapping gas, are primarily responsible for recent observed climate change, they wrote. And one government scientist who worked on the report, a professor of political science at Texas Tech University, called the conclusion among the most comprehensive climate science report to be published. And other scientists revealed in the process, who spoke to New York Times on the condition of anonymity, said he and others were concerned that it would be suppressed. Yeah, right. There's only one plausible reason why anyone wish to have this report suppressed: sheer Ruddard embarrassment. As both Stephen Goddard and Paul Homewood have comprehensively demonstrated, the draft report is riddled with the most basic errors, lies, and distortion. It is a political document, not a scientific one. Thrown together. Exactly. Wait. You got to add the more change. It's hot in the summer, cold in the winter, and it's so in the spring. Well, it starts to warm up in the spring and starts to get colder in the autumn. All this is, it's a political document, not a scientific one, thrown together in order to ramp up public hysteria about global warming and entrench the public of the climate mafia. Here, Goddard points out one of the most outrageous cheats. Yeah, no one gives a shit about climate change. They see the farce that it is. BZ just pointed out Gore's new movie has tanked. No one's going to it. It's bullshit, and people are seeing it. Every time you turn around, they got to change the facts because, we got caught playing with the numbers. Oh, yeah, we were wrong here. We were wrong there. In the meantime, weather's weather. We're seeing some cold weather this summer. Some of the coldest summer weather happened this year. And every year has been the hottest of record. Oh, wait a minute. They screwed up reading the temperature. They saw 91 and thought 119. I mean, I don't know what excuses they use to justify lying about the temperatures, and they've been doing it every goddamn year. They keep doing it. It's ridiculous. But yep, those federal scientists really are that brazen. They created a fake upward trend in temperatures by starting in the 1980s, the coldest point of the last century, and they have such contempt for those outside the climate alarmist bubble, they thought no one would notice. In fact, as Homewood notes, it's even worse than that. The actual temperature measures show that the U.S. climate is no warmer now than prior to 1960. It is only by adjusting the measured temperatures that NOAA can come up with hotter than ever claim. Homewood goes on to demonstrate that this doomsday report cobbled together by the politicized scientists of the National Climate Assessment is actually a fargo of wild claim backed up by no evidence. No, global warming hasn't continued in recent years. No, current temperatures are not, as they reported, astonishing claims much higher than in at least the last 1,700 years. No, there have been no record droughts in the U.S. recently. In fact, quite the opposite is true. No. Oh, Seattle must be stinky too. Oh. Hotter than hell in Seattle, and leftists, they don't believe in air conditioning. That equals some really stinky liberals. Hey, I'd love to go on with the... I love bashing the global warming cultists. It's so easy. There's not been more hurricanes or tornadoes. Again, quite the opposite. Actually, hell, I've lived in Florida 10 years, and we haven't got hit with a major hurricane, knock on wood. In fact, New Jersey's got hit with like 2 or 3 since I moved out. This is what happened. Weather is secular. It changes. It goes around. It gets hotter. It gets colder. It gets hotter. It gets colder. The same temperatures don't happen every day. They don't happen year to year. It changes. That's called Mother Nature. You never know what she's going to give. The weather got a little bit warmer, possibly, but that also coincides with solar flares. But on that, we got to get going because coming up next is BZ Berserk Bobcat Saloon, hosted by the great BZ. I'll see everybody tomorrow, 9 p.m., right here, SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. Peace. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.